Godsmack Sully Erna is currently with his Godsmack bandmates working on their next studio album. The band had an off-record hit with Whiskey Hangover, which was supposed to tide the fans over and give them something to promote on this past summer's Crewfest. Sully Erna talked to Artisan News a few months back during Crewfest 2, and he said that the band was on a roll with the new record before the tour.
We were right in the middle of writing a record, and we had to kind of sever that process for a minute and postpone it. And so the idea now is to finish, this tour out, get right into the studio, finish the record, drop it by early 2010, and then just fire up a huge world tour and really start, maybe even do 2 records back to back and just crush it for another 5 years, take a small break, do a couple more records. I mean, I don't know how deep into the future I can predict right now, but I foresee at least 2 more records in the near future back to back.
During the last album, Sully admitted that he had writer's block. Does he foresee the same thing happening this time?
Every record's a challenge for me because I just never know lyrically where I'm going with it. And I don't know what the dialogue is per record. Because I usually just find it easiest to write about what I'm experiencing in my life at the time. But now, every time we come to a new record cycle, I seem to be at a different point in my life, obviously. And it takes me a minute to figure out what the truth is about that point in my life. For instance, I could be going through a bad breakup and ending a relationship, and I could easily point the finger at the other person all the time and just discuss my frustration with the other person. But then, is it really truthful? I don't know. Maybe I should be pointing my finger at myself for all my mistakes that I made. And so that's just kind of an example of I'm not sure where the truth is in what part of my life, and I try to research that as I get into writing and find out what's deep for me. What do I feel, when I hear this riff and it's an angrier riff or more attitude, where do I want to go with it? If it sounds tough, I feel like I want to write about something that's a tough situation.
Erna said that he wants to be honest with where he's at with his life and write about it for the record. But he wants to do this without taking away the essence of Godsmack.
I have a beautiful daughter now, and she's almost 8 years old, and that brings me a lot of joy and happiness, so I can't think about her when I'm trying to write something angry. So it really is a bit of a challenge for me, and I don't have any idea where I'm going with this album yet, but there's always something going on in Sully's head, in Sully's life, that's just a nightmare or confusion or whatever, so I'm sure I'll find whatever drama I'm going through right now.
Godsmack's Whiskey Hangover went to #1 on the active rock radio charts over the summer, and the new album is tentatively slated for a March 2010 release.
You're not my destiny.